It was a few chapters later in Romans that Luther finds there in chapter 3 that Christ is our propitiation. Now, Luther recognized that word. He recognized that that word was also used back in the Old Testament. In fact, it was used in Exodus chapter 25, verse 22, in what we call the Septuagint. The Septuagint is a Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible. And Luther, of course, he knew his Latin, and he knew his Greek very well, and he knew his Hebrew too. But Luther often liked to read the Old Testament and the Greek. And he recognized this word at Exodus chapter 25, verse 22. And there, in the description for the tabernacle, and of course the tabernacle, was at the center of where Israel would encamp. It represented God in the midst, at the very center of his people. And there in the center of the tabernacle was the Holy of Holies. This was the place that the high priest could only enter once a year. And there in the center of the Holy of Holies was the Ark of the Covenant. And it was on top of that Ark of the Covenant that the priest would enter once a year. And the priest would take that blood, the blood from a spotless lamb, and he would sprinkle it on top of that mercy seat. And God would accept that sacrifice for that year. In fact, there were 2 lambs. One lamb was taken and slain, and one lamb, the priest would ceremonially put his hands on that lamb and then send the lamb out of the camp. And the idea is that the one lamb shed his blood. It pointed forward to the shedding of Christ's blood on the cross. And the other lamb represented the sins of Israel. And as the priest put his hands on that lamb, and that lamb took off and ran out of the camp, so our sins are removed. But there's a fascinating word there that's used to describe the mercy seat. And the word that's used for mercy seat is the same Greek word for propitiation.